What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about why it's best to learn the old style of JavaScript as a new developer before you jump into the ES6 plus stuff. So we have all these courses. A lot of them say, hey, learn advanced ES6 plus features, learn the best practices in 2024. See, this course is already outdated. Who's going to buy that? That's a bad way to make a course, whoever you are. Another one, ES6, ES13, 14, 15, ES Next. It's so stupid, guys. When you're learning JavaScript, you want to learn the old way first because it's got the most easy to understand step-by-step code out there. There's no shortcuts, there's no arrow functions, there's no callbacks, async, await, which is all it's a complicated stuff. I don't know why. Whoever's in charge of JavaScript, they're just progressively making the language harder and harder to understand for beginners, especially. So it's really a bad idea to start out learning the new modern JavaScript. Again, you want to focus on stuff that's ES5 or sooner, and you want to start as simple as possible. So, for example, just going in here, jumping into a little code example. We got our little web page here, little index and just script tag, simple. And how you should start really building your projects and using JavaScript, for example, is if you wanted to use an event listener. Literally, and this is how I start, shameless plug. I do have a course, a full stack web developer course that teaches you JavaScript and PHP full stack development. Link in the description. And how I start by teaching you guys in our first project is we actually use inline event listeners and functions, which is people might say that and say scream and cry or freak out. But it's the easiest way to learn JavaScript and to know what the hell is going on. So, for example, let's say we have a button. Okay. And then we'll make it say, click me. And let's go live so you can see what we're building here. And this is how I teach people to use JavaScript in the beginning. And even though it's bad practice and it's harder to maintain, you could still build projects using stuff like this if you really wanted to. So we've got a button. It says click me, right? And then we'll put an ID on here. We'll put a type of button. And we'll put an ID on here of BTN. And then down here in our JavaScript, we'll write just a normal function, not an arrow function, an old school function in JavaScript. This is ancient to some people, right? So I'll write a function. We'll call it say hello. And then we'll do an alert. And we'll just say hello, right? Now, no arrow function, nothing crazy, no ES6 craziness. What I have people do and what you should do to learn JavaScript is just use inline event handlers and function calls. So you would literally just go like this. And a lot of you have probably never seen this before that have taken courses. So you're probably going to be like, whoa, that's so simple. What the heck? So we're going to go on click. And we're going to say on click, run, say hello. Simple, 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 simple. So now we can just click the button just like that. That's all we have to do to connect the function to the event listener, right? Click me, hello, right? And you should build your first couple of projects using stuff like this just to get the hang of functions, how JavaScript works, event listeners, simple syntax, okay? Now, after that, you can slowly graduate up to newer, more modern JavaScript. Me personally, today, I still use mostly ES5 just because it's easier for my brain to understand. I don't like arrow functions and all that modern stuff. It's super annoying. And by the way, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if you're launching a production or a project into real production where it's really going to be used by people, like a web app or whatever that uses JavaScript, you're actually going to be using a compiler most of the time. And the most famous one is Babel JS. And what Babel JS does is if you write your whole app in modern JavaScript, what it'll do is you run this in your project in your little as a build, and it compiles it down back to ES5 and older JavaScript so that every browser can understand what your code is. Because JavaScript is dude, it gets a new update every day. It's crazy. So even if you write modern JavaScript, you still pretty much have to make it go back to the old school JavaScript to make sure that's going to be compatible throughout every web browser in the world. And it's still the best practice. It's falling out of favor, but still today, just to be safe, people still use this. So again, just to show you that old JavaScript is still pretty much the best way to do it because browsers can't keep up with the constant JavaScript updates every other hour. It's crazy. So anyway, off that tangent, After you get, you know, your feet wet, you understand event listeners, you use function calls at least in your HTML. You can graduate up and make it a little more complicated, so we can take that off. And then we can, you know, add a button. So we could say var, and we could say button equals document dot get element by ID. And then we can select our ID. So we'll just say BTN. And then you can even add an event listener. So we can say BTN dot add event listener, click, and then run your say hello function. And now try it again. Boom, and now it'll work that way. That's the more modern way. And then we can even move you up to like the next level to where you can combine a lot of this together. So you can literally just say var button equals document dot get element by ID, and then you can just say right from there, you can just say dot add event listener, click, and then function. You can just attach the function, an anonymous function in there. And then now paste your code in there, get rid of that. Now it's all together in one block if you want to do it that way. Click me and do it that way. But see, you move up in stages. You don't ever want to start off with something like this as a brand new developer trying to learn all of this. You're going to be like, whoa, what does all this do? What does this dot do? What does that do? You want to separate each step as much as possible so that you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then you can move up to the arrow functions and all the fancy ES6 stuff once you get really comfortable with the basic core foundation of the language. Again, shameless plug, in my course, I pretty much teach primarily ES5 JavaScript because it's more verbose. There's more to write, but it's more step-by-step and everything is explained to you. And then once you understand code a little bit better, you'll be able to develop little, I guess you could say, like nerd eyes. You'll be able to like actually see what the code is doing step by step clearly, because everything that you're doing, it's not just going to have a symbol like ES6 to represent 5 steps. It's going to actually be all written out step by step on what's going on the page. And that's a lot easier to do, especially when you're doing stuff as a newbie, like calling APIs, which we have an API project that I do, and I show you a very, very simple way to connect to an API that's way easier to understand than ES6 callbacks and async, await, and all that crap that you don't need. So anyway, guys, if you're learning JavaScript, bottom line is start from the beginning. Okay, start with the old way. The old ways, as with most things in life, the old ways are best, and that's pretty true for learning JavaScript as a new developer. Again, shameless plug, in my course, if you want to get started with it, premium, we start very, very simple when we get into the JavaScript. Now, this is full stack from HTML, not knowing anything about the internet, to learning HTML, to building full stack PHP JavaScript apps. No frameworks, no nothing, all from scratch. When we get to learning JavaScript, we start very simple with just a simple counting app project. We just build a little counter. We start very simple, and then we get more and more advanced with our projects as we go, to where we build a little mini calculator. Then we build a scoreboard so you can understand events, how to add stuff, all of that. We build a random dice game, and then, which is a simple way of generating random numbers. We take that skill, we build upon it, and then we build a strong password generator. So something like this. So we'll do a strong password generator. Okay? To where you can build something like this on your own, where it just generates a random strong password. And we all do this. We start very simple with inline JavaScript in our HTML, and then I slowly graduate you up. And we never really get into the complicated stuff like arrow functions or any of that, because it's not necessary. You can learn all that on your own. But you will learn the base fundamentals in writing older JavaScript, again, more step-by-step, so you actually understand exactly what's going on and everything, right? Another thing, if you don't want to do that, there's also a really good book out there. I have it here, this bad boy. I'll link this into the description, JavaScript and jQuery by John Duckett. This will also teach you older ES5 JavaScript. Highly recommended. If you want to just purchase the book on Amazon, I'll link it in the description. But reading this book, and it even teaches you jQuery, which, believe it or not, is still very relevant, especially if you want to launch your own apps and actually build stuff, guys. Like, try to get out of the worshiping code phase. A lot of people, when we start to learn web development, we kind of like worship code and we just want to learn code, but we don't actually build anything. Try to get out of that phase as fast as possible. Learn the older styles of stuff, especially with JavaScript, and build and make it simple. Make your code simple. Even if it's 10, 20 more lines, make it simple and understandable. Okay? All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.